Folks, I want to introduce you to the newest and frankly most powerful tool for the residential real estate investor. It is sponsored, created by Resi Club. It is called Resi Terminal. The one and only Lance Lambert has been working on this as a passion for some time now, and it is now released. It's part of Resi Club Pro, so it's another reason to get that and get that now. But Lance, you've been working on this for a while. You and I have been talking about this seemingly for the last 6 or 9 months, and the baby is now born. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and this is something that I wanted to build before I even had left Fortune. I knew this was like what I had to get to. And so the first 24 months of the business, I've kind of known where I had to get to as of today. And here it is. And so
let me share with the audience. So we can just bring it up. And there you go. What are we looking at, big boy?
So when you get into the Resi Club terminal, you can see data, state level, metro, zip code level. There's 66 different metrics in here so far. Home prices, inventory, rentals, existing home sales, new construction, public home builders. Like if you want to know like where, like, 1 second, let me reload it. If you want to know where like DR Horton actually builds homes, you can go through and find it. Like if you're trying to like find deals from them, they have unsold inventory. So you could click on a county and you can see how many homes they built per year in that county back to 2012.
Wow.
And demographics, like you want to see like what are the markets that actually, have the most population change. This is total. So let's do year over year. Like you want to find the growth markets. Where are the markets in the country that are growing?
Wow.
And another fun thing about this is you can go up and you can go back to prior years. So this was a really important function, in my opinion, to find directional change.
Oh, look at that.
So here's a year ago in Florida, right? If you want to go back to like 2 years ago, there.
Look at that. Wow,
now,
that's powerful.
If you want to go back and go through history, and you want to go back and see something really wild, your market Fresno, wild back in let's do Metro real quick. And I got to go all the way through it again.
Okay.
Back in the 2000s bubble period, you had a year in there where you were doing like what Austin just did, but like multiple years in a row, like of gains.
No, we were Fresno, California was the #1 city 2 years in a row for appreciation.
Bakersfield, 35% in one 12-month period.
That's wild.
Fresno, 27, 28. And then you can, and this is, so this would be August to 2004 to August 2005. Wow. And you kind of go through the next year, still up a lot.
Yeah.
And into 07, things changed quickly. 8, 9.
Well, Lance, that's how Norris Drive could go from 107 to 263 to 75. That's how Fresno was.
And then you get a little period like 2010 where things kind of chilled for a second. And then there was another
leg down. Yeah.
Yes, another leg down. Then you have the bottom. And this is year over year. So the bottom year over year is always a lagging metric. It takes a second to get to, but you can go through. And then if you wanted to do just single family homes, you could do Freddie Mac, or you could do Zillow's single family. Right now, let's do condo real quick. So here's condo prices in Florida. And then here's single family. So you can see like Southwest Florida, weak for both, very weak for both. But the rest of Florida, single family, it's down some, but it's not down as much as condo. Condo's down a lot. And then this one is probably something you'll really value, which is you can do upper tier and lower tier.
Oh, I'm so glad that's in there. That is such a big deal for me because, again, it gets so distorted if you have those together. So that's awesome.
And one thing I was telling you is that I've been hearing that this dynamic has changed recently, and in particular in the Southeast, where a lot of the home building is. So here's upper tier. This isn't like pure luxury. It's the 65th percentile to 95th percentile. So think about
that locale.
The top third. Yeah.
Got it.
We
Got
take
it.
off the very top 5 because the top 5th percentile, the top 5% of homes,
Yeah.
they kind of play at a whole different ball game.
Oh, they just distort the market too. Yes.
Yeah. And so here's upper tier. Now, if you look at lower tier, in the Southeast, the lower tier has been the weakest. And the reason is it's all of that new construction.
Of course.
That's where the builders have been chasing, because that's where the market was alive the past couple of years, was the bottom.
Well, that's exactly. I mean, that actually makes total sense, right? If this is where home builders compete with existing, is in this lower tier. Exactly. They don't compete at the upper end. They compete here. So it makes total sense that this would be the lowest or the weakest. Sorry.
And and again, it's not like you're not seeing the same dynamic out west as you are in that like big home building Southeast corridor. And then if you're like, you know what, I want to see since 2000, and you're like, let's see since March 2020. I keep that in here. You can go through any market, let's say like in Austin that has seen a give up. You can see that in August or in May and June, it was up like 69% in 20-month period, right? And so now it's up 30% versus March 2020. Yep. And inflation's up almost that. So Austin is actually, the dynamics are much more favorable for investment in Austin now that it's had this correction.
Oh, no question. I would agree with that. Yes.
And if you want to see like 10-year appreciation, I keep that in here.
Gosh, this is so cool.
So instead of just having the prices, I do it by all these different cuts. And this single family one here from Freddie Mac, that's just in case, some people aren't as big into Zillow data. So if you're like who's not as into Zillow, come and check Freddie Mac just to make sure you're seeing the same gist.
Well, this is going to be so powerful because my audience, you've been to my events. A lot of people are either seeking the next market, kind of looking out of state. And, you've always had the data and you've always been so giving to the audience, but now to kind of put this visual, this map, and just allow people to adjust the different variables, it's people need to go get Resi Club Pro immediately. And
so you can, let's say you go up to into the zip real quick for year over year, zip code, you click your state. So like here's Ohio where I am. And then you can go through, and if you're like, you know what, I want to, and let's say you're a little confused on like where you are, you can take the colors off and go see the street view. So you can be like, okay, what falls into this?
Wow. Right? Okay.
And then you put that, one second, let me put that back on. And then let's say you want to select a zip code, you select your zip code and you can see the variables in that specific zip code. And then you can go through these different metrics, scroll through, and we're just, you want to see inventory, year over year change in inventory, how many homes are for sale in that market. And then I make sure to do a bar for the same month because there's quality in housing, right? And we want to make sure that people can kind of see
year
that
on year. That makes sense.
Insurance, I'm still kind of adding into this. I got to figure out what all data goes into this. I have non-renewal rates right now, which is a good proxy for distress in insurance. Yeah. You can see some pockets of Louisiana, some areas of Florida, coastal Carolina, some pockets of California. But it varies a lot. The insurance story, it's kind of all over the place. You want to see taxes, effective property tax rates. This is me I calculated this. So I take typical home value by typical property tax paid. So it's not perfect because within counties and municipalities, all of this varies a lot.
For sure. But
you can kind of get a little bit of a gist, right?
Nice.
Like Illinois, obviously. New York.
Yep. Highest. Yep. Man, this is amazing, man. You were always so passionate when you've been talking about this for the last 6 to 9 months to see that it's finally here and frankly better than I could have ever imagined. This is sexy and the UI is very clean. It's very easy to navigate. It's very well done, man.
This is single family rents year over year. I still need to get more geographies. Rent data is a little tricky, which, I've kind of realized that out in the real world as well. Pricing data is easier than the rent stuff, some of the good rent data. Here's year over year rent. And, even in a place like Southwest Florida, rents have been pretty stable. for single family.
Right.
You're not seeing, much give up there. Rents are still kind of ticking up on a nationally aggregated basis, and that's true in most markets. Here's multifamily. You can see more weakness, multifamily. Nothing
Sure.
too crazy. I mean, you do have like Austin, that's
Yeah.
that's popping on the wrong metric, but you do have like Austin that's seen more weakness there. You want to
Sure.
see like typical multifamily, you click that. What is like the typical multifamily
And
rent?
I love that the map is always the consistent UI. So once you know your location in your city or your zip, you can just continually drill in. I think that's pretty cool.
And then up top, like not every like let's say the home builder data, public
Mhm.
home builders, I only have it to county level, but
Sure.
then you go through like some inventory stuff and you're getting like everything, right?
Right. Makes
And
sense.
all these cuts that you see me talk about all the time, they're in here. I
Mhm.
did add some new stuff like inventory per capita.
Mm,
You want to look at it a different way instead of
that's
like,
interesting.
you
Okay.
know, yeah, I think that's kind of interesting to look at. I haven't really dug in deep to that yet. So, and actually, I had Megan just do this analysis. So I know very little about this one,
That's
other
great.
than conceptual. I haven't dug into it as much.
So
Whereas, like,
let me ask you the $1,000 question. Now that this power is available in Resi Club Pro, obviously knowing you, existing members are going to get this because they're already members. But are you looking at raising the prices because the values just increased, or what are you doing?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's $299 is what my pro membership has been, and so anybody who's been into that is kind of grandfathered, and through the end of
Sure.
this week is grandfathered, and then it goes to $495.
Ah,
And it,
see,
and,
there you
and
go.
it's
And
like
that's a year, right?
yeah, a year. So what is that, $40 a month or something like
Right.
that? That's what it comes
Yep.
out to.
But again,
And
if people are quick, if people get in, they get in for less than that in the next few days.
yeah, and if you are seeing this after I've already raised my prices because I'm going to raise them in like 30 hours, send me an email, lance@resiclubanalytics.com if you'd like to still lock in at that $299 rate, and I'll
Wow.
do
That
that.
is really cool. Lance@resiclubanalytics.com.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, nice guy. Okay.
And so you get access to all this data and also all the data that I'm going to add. Like one of
That's where I want to go next. So this is very cool. It's obviously a great framework, but I can also see how you are going to be adding just so much to this because it just fits the residential model. You got a little tease for stuff you're excited about adding?
Yeah, well, I already added two things this week. When I
Nice.
launched, somebody reached out and said we need a 5-year appreciation and 10-year. So we
Okay.
added those in. I think those are good points because one of the things I want people to be able to do is to flip home prices many different ways and kind of be able to look through it through some different lenses, right? To kind of get to be able to see momentum and see what's kind of occurred and just have that better story because I'm just so tired of how home prices get reported, which is you have
Yeah.
like this national aggregate, and then you have all these crazy things that people do to the data. And I'm just like, I just want to take people to the data, right?
Yep.
And you can figure it out and you can have the truth right in front of you. And
Well, I
that's what
think that's the power that you bring is you've been this way since day one. So even when you were back at Fortune, it's like I'm just giving you the data and letting you as an adult do with it what you will. I think too many creators out there are trying to create a story, and then they have the story or their bias, and then that's all they look for is data that will accent their bias. And most content creators out there want to pay their rent, so they want to be as negative as possible. And you're like, no, let me just give you all the data, let you slice and dice as you see fit, and then make your decision. So I think what you're doing is far more valuable, far more
And another thing that I've done in here is like some of these things are like very like practical use things where it's like things that people really need, like what is happening to rents right now, what is happening to home prices, inventory, right? That stuff. But I also want to like add in if people want to like research and better understand housing. So I put in the full Freddie Mac data for home prices down to a metro level, going back to 1975. So you can go and explore like what happened over time. So like in the mid to late 80s, there was a huge housing boom that was separate from the national market in the Northeast. And that continued into like 86 and 87, and it was and then it went in, and during that same time, the Northeast is seeing this huge historic boom in home prices. The mid to late, or the second half of the 80s, Texas was in a correction. There was like a big oil bust there, and all these problems in their mortgage market. And so places like Dallas and Houston and all those places in Texas are correcting. But up in the Northeast, they're ripping for home prices. And it just kept going through the 80s. And then what occurred right around 89 is Texas starts to bottom out that correction. But then up in the Northeast, they went into a correction because they've been booming for so long. And, and the other thing that started to occur in that market in the time is you had the savings and loan crisis. And that bust from savings and loans had a bigger impact on the Northeast, but then also Southern California and into Arizona as well. And it's kind of like interesting to see that play out in the data.